Alright, I've got a 2008 Jeep Liberty and I was getting error code P0201. I had a fuel injector failure. So error code's P020 and then the last number will be a 1 through a 6, which is your fuel injector failure. The engine, this is the front, my fans, so you're 135246. You can also get an associated P0301 through 6, and that's for cylinder misfire. And today I'm going to replace my fuel injectors. So I'm going to show you how to remove your spark plugs and your fuel injectors, which are located under this manifold on both sides of the engine. You want to check your manual to see if it's time to replace your spark plugs. You might as well do it now. And this is a lot easier than you think. You don't have to remove a whole bunch of stuff there. For starters, on top of the spark plugs, you have 10mm nuts to come off of each one. And then on the manifold itself, you can see down here there's two bolts on either side. Those are 8mm. To start with our spark plugs, do this one first. There's a little there's more room to see. So you have a little tab on here. You just push down on the top and pop the connector off. So do that for all 6 of them. Remove this nut, and these are the spark plugs, and they lift right out. All right, the next step before we remove the spark plugs is make sure you just get compressed air, blow out around the cylinders, get all crud out of this whole area. And then the manifold itself is going to be pressurized with gas, so you want to take a rag and stick it in here. Right here is the manifold bleed, so you can depressure it from there. So you want to pull each of the plugs out, and you just little jiggle, and up they come straight out. So this is what they look like. All right, so pull out each spark plug. There's also clips holding on top of each injector. Get my screwdriver in there and just slide them to the inside. I'll show you what the clip looks like. So this is the clip, and you have to remove that off of each injector, and then you'll be able to lift the manifold up. So there's 3 on each side, of course, and then, like I said, just cracking it and see. You can see mine is already moving pretty easily. So I'll have this to soak up any gas that may leak, but you can pull this up enough to work with it, and you won't have to remove all of this other stuff. All right, so now we've got our manifold up, and we want to remove the connector that's on the fuel injector. There's a red tab, and this just slides away from the injector. Sometimes it may be stuck, so you just need a little screwdriver, but then there's a little tab that you push on under it, and off comes your connector. And mine's not too pretty looking. Here you can see the tab that gets pushed down. Now if these are a little stuck coming out, I've got this little tool. I think it's for paint cans, I don't know. It's a little pry bar, and you can fit it under a lip somewhere, and you can just give it a pull and move them straight up. Now some people have wrapped wire around these and then yanked them straight up. Whatever your preference is, or whatever tools you have available. So when you pull it out, I already have one out from before, and I'll show you what they look like. And it's always good if one of these is still functioning when you replace it, keep it as a spare, because when these fail, man, it is one scary ride, that's for sure. You lose power, check engines binging and dinging. So this is what an injector looks like. is mine. You can see this was crudded on the end, but there's an O-ring down here and this O-ring up here. This goes into the manifold, this goes down into the engine. When you go to, after you pop these out and you pop them in, just put just a little bit of oil to make it easy to slide in. So make sure when you put your manifold back on the injectors, if you look, you can see like a thin groove on either side. So this side of the engine is going to be the connectors face to the outside, and then this clip is going to slide into those grooves and lock on like that. So it's hard to see it on the vehicle. And then also there's a little notch on each side of this, and there's a lip on the manifold, so it clips and it locks it on tight. Now the passenger side was a little bit harder putting it back on because of the air conditioning hoses. Right side of the, or driver's side of the vehicle is pretty easy and straightforward, but everything came out a lot. Remember to double check your rubber grommets. You're gonna have, when you pull it out, you're gonna have one on the top and one on the bottom, and half of mine stuck in there. So I had a couple little things. I had really fine needle nose to get in there, and to pull them out of the manifold, I took an old paper clip, a real paper clip, made this little hook and just went up inside and pulled the O-ring out. And then just a matter of putting everything back on. Make sure you're clipping your clips, you lock them into place. They have the locking tabs, so they're going to click on and then lock the tabs for everything, and you should be good to go. So I hope this helps you, and like I said, save one of your injectors that you pulled out that you knew that was good as a spare, because when these fail, mine gave no warning, and fortunately I was close to home. But if I was anywhere else, it would have been either a tow job or a very scary ride. Definitely no highway driving. Oh, and with the spark plugs too, these are the spark plug covers, and the plugs, let's see if I can show you. If you can look down in there, you can see the spark plug. So if you get to remove your spark plugs, you need a deep socket and extensions, because they are in there. All right, well, I hope this video helps you.